Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, Earthlings on planet Earth, wherever you may be. I'm having a very cathartic evening this evening, sitting on the pontoon where our lovely boat is berthed, and I'm feeling a lot more relaxed and not quite as tired as I was before. We now have two new crew. Well, we've got one new crew who's already started, God bless him, and another lovely young man who's doing his STCWs. He's got to jump in the sea, walk through fire, you know, virtually kill himself for the first aid, which we all have to do. It's a baptism of fire to be able to be crew on the commercial ships, and quite right too. Hoop of fire, hoop of fire, hoop of fire. God, that's the story of my life, is jumping through hoops of fire. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. And I've been doing lots of work on my boat. This video is all about my boat. And I sympathise greatly with... Hello, puss. Oh, you going for a walk? Psh, 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 psh. Kitty, come back. Come and say hello. Come on. Come on. She likes to go for an evening stroll. Come on, puss. Puss. She goes for a little stroll down the pontoon to stretch her legs. Kitty! And comes back quite quickly. God knows what, she's just taking a breath of air. So polite. Getting old as well, aren't you, boo? Anyway, I sympathise with aristocrats who have castles and stately homes such as the one that is filmed in Downton Abbey, the Carnarvons, because with our boat has total pedigree, was built for the Carlsberg family, but I don't feel we own it. We're just the custodians of it, and we hope to leave it in better condition than it was before, and I'm sure that's how they feel, like fixing leaking roofs and just fixing stuff up. And I've been working on the boat today, and it's done me an awful lot of good. And thanks to the new and young blood that's coming into Dolphin Safari and the crew, I'm ecstatic, actually, ecstatic. Because then all I have to do is just clean the house and fix our boat. And I have a big relationship with our boat. At one point, I used to call her the Albatross. After we bought her, and we were living on our little boat, smaller boat in Brighton Marina, I actually said to Graham at one point, shall we just change our phone numbers and shed her and pretend we never bought her and get rid of her? She's an albatross, she's nothing but a bloodsucker. Because we were living on our boat in Brighton Marina with our they were little then, our kids, and the Marina Bay were allowing squatters to live on our boat and trash it, and God alone knows what was going on. The Marina denied it. She sank, you know, and the really insulting part was when they presented us with a bill for half a ton of fresh water, which is what sank her. I mean, it was that the squatter had left the fresh water running to such an extent that it weighed her down, and then there were holes only just above the waterline, and then once the boat got down low, then the seawater took over. But there have been storms. We get storms down here. Oddly enough, There hasn't been a storm down here since the 19th of January 2013, which nearly killed our entire family. And I've come to love the boat, really love her. And we have a big relationship, and I've spent a lot of time, and thanks to the fact that we've got crew on the Dolphin Safari boat, this is the year. This is finally the year I'm going to get to spend time with my boat, my albatross, Sea Lion, behind me. And we bought it in 2007. And what I didn't realise is that when we bought it... Oh, bit of shadow there. There we go. That's better. Just move me flip-flop. When we bought it, we didn't realise that we inherited two narcissistic psychopaths. We had no idea. We bought it in 2007. Totally innocent. Didn't know the area. The boat was in Marina Bay. And we didn't move down till 2010. And then when we finally moved down, that's when we found out what they were and how they destroy lives. Well, to sort of explain how we were all nearly killed in 2013, 19th of January. Our boat, let's go and have a look at our boat from outside. Oh, you get stiff as you get older, don't you? Here we go. Here's our boat. The back of our boat. And today I have been doing filler and filling the transom. She's a very, very hardy boat, this one. You could fire bullets at her and they wouldn't go through, not even with an AK-47. This is fiberglass, 1960s, and they made the hull really thick, like, oh, where's the camera? That thick. You know, she's like an inch thick hull, very strong. As I say, built for the Carlsbergs. Now, when we were in Marina Bay, we had what was known as Mediterranean moorings. And a Mediterranean mooring means that the ropes are tied to something solid at the back, but at the front, it's basically an anchor. It's what they had in Marina Bay in those days were chains. Very thick links, the size of a human head, and they would lay along the seabed, and you'd have bow lines attached to that. And well, a chain is only as strong as the weakest link. Well, I won't go into the details of our two psychopaths, but they kind of sort of arranged, or well, they didn't arrange. It's never a direct thing with narcissists, is it? They knew. We had two bow lines. And before the storm hit, in the days preceding it, I'd been in the kitchen and the living room, and I'd been thinking, we're drifting unnaturally way far to the left and the right than we ever did before. Well, Graham and I, for one reason or another, I don't know why, we just decided we'd sleep in a different part of the boat that night. The first thing I heard was like, it sounded like an explosion, like a bang, and it was a clap of thunder, lightning, and the sea really, and Marina Bay, God, it just turned into a death trap. And it turned out that the See, the stern lines, this is the back end of the boat, they were our responsibility and they did not break. Thank God they held. But the bow, the pointy end of the boat that was attached to what was on the seabed, that was the mariner's responsibility, and both lines broke. They weren't it turned out we weren't attached to anything. Oh my God, we're paying £6,500 a year, and it turned out we were not attached to anything. That the sea chain had failed. The links the size of my head, you know, like steel that thick. Turned out, anyway, this storm hit, and so this boat, it weighs tons and tons. I think she weighs 13 tons, 14 tons, something like that. She was going forward and back onto the concrete and smash, forward, smash, forward, smash. And it wasn't the first time that neglectful twat at the marina had done that. Let me see if I can, I don't know if you can see that. No, you probably can't see that. But it's a stainless steel, solid stainless steel cleat that actually snapped in half. We woke up and full of panic, I got the kids off the boat, and I ran barefoot. I mean, getting the kids off the boat was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. And Graham jumped off the boat, and while the boat was doing this smash, like smashing fuck out of, but she didn't smash fuck out of herself. Excuse my French, I don't care. Because it's such a strong hull, she survived. But the thing is, it was just shy of a hurricane, and Graham jumped off the boat, and I literally threw the children at him, and he caught them, and they clung to a sort of metal railing that was on the concrete pier, and they were horizontal, like clinging on, and they were screaming at me, "Mummy, mummy, mummy." I mean, Sammy was born in 2001, and this happened in 2013, so she was 12, and Benji would have been, he was born in 2003. Well, they were tiny, and they had their life jackets on. And at one point, I could see them clinging to this railing, and the little bodies were horizontal. Eventually, I managed to get off the boat, and I took them to the dolphin office, and I left them there. I was barefoot, pissing rain, blowing a hurricane, and I ran back to the boat, and Graham was absolutely soaking wet, like he'd been swimming in his clothes. And I said to him, "What the hell have you been doing? What the fuck? You've been swimming?" And he said, "I wasn't swimming, I was on the boat, and I got blown off the boat. I went right under the boat, nearly got crushed." And I remember hugging him and saying, "Don't get back on that boat. Do not get back on that boat. I can replace anything, but I cannot replace you." The guy at Marina Bay that was supposed to be the manager, what a neglectful. Oh, anyway, I sued them. I sued the marina. That was part of the defamation. It was all to do with the narcissistic psychopaths. I sued them. And we bought this boat in situ at Marina Bay. And the cheeky little monkey, this guy who works, I think he still works at Marina Bay. He's certainly not the manager now. I think he cleans the toilets or something. God. he had the cheek. This is where Markle comes in, lying under oath. He put an affidavit in, and he said that Graham and I sailed this boat into Marina Bay, that he'd never clapped eyes on it before we turned up. And he also said in his affidavit that Graham and I were too busy sitting on the pier drinking and smoking weed and drugs, and that he caringly offered for our children to go to the marina office for hot cocoa and blankets, and that we said, no, let them suffer in the rain. Oh my God. That's the human being, not the psychopaths, not the narcissistic psychopaths, but they were the authors of it all. Anyway, I am ecstatic that finally me and my girl, my sea lion, we're going to make some progress, and that we've got new crew at Dolphin Safari. Wasn't the first time Marina Bay nearly killed us. Of course, it's all changed now. I'm going back years and years and years. But I still remember the day of that storm, 19th January 2013. And I didn't... Let's give him a name. Let's give him a name, this idiot. Because he's the only human being in my life, in my entire life. I was on the run, Britain's Most Wanted, loads of grief from Scary, national press. I've had lots of grief in my life, but this is the one human being I've actually fantasized about killing, and not killing in any old manner. Very specific. I wanted to kill him with my own bare hands. And not because he's a nasty piece of work, because he's a negligent twat. He allowed our boat to be sunk twice with fresh water. He allowed squatters to live on our boat. He didn't check the links under the water, and that our mooring was secure. For God's sake, we're paying him £6,500 a year to look out after our boat. I mean, he's more than a wrinkle. Okay, let's call him Wrinkle. Or let's call him Foreskin. Foreskin would do. He's dying now. I saw him about 6 months ago. I haven't seen him around lately. He was always bolshing it about, drinking pints, taking drugs, taking bribes, just being an absolute twat. Saw him 6 months ago. He's dying. He's definitely dying. I mean, he looks a right state, and it gives me no pleasure. Years of stress. But tonight, because I've been able to like really press on with the boat, I've just kind of, it's like a demon's taken hold of me. Perhaps it's Sandra, our resident ghost, a lady who died on our boat. Don't know what the story is there. Maybe one day I'll find out. She's really been pushing me. The bathroom's coming on fabulous. My gold tap arrived. Oh, it's magnificent. It's better than any tiara. And this boat kept my children safe. No thanks to him. And I think Sandra has helped me push on and push on and push on. And I am going to show you lots of things on the boat. Lots of things. She's fantastic. She's a piece of history. She was built for the Carlsberg family. And I feel like, I think a lot of aristocrats, that it's all very well people thinking an aristocrat inherits a building, but then the roof leaks and they've got to pay for They've got to find a way, and if you've got no income and you've got no money, and my God, I've really, the whole family, we've so been through it, and this boat. And I do forgive him. I did forgive him. Old foreskin, wrinkle, whatever. I forgave him precisely 10 years after that storm. That storm was horrific. And it wasn't the only hurricane that hit Gibraltar. There was another one in 2008. But he's a drug-addled, alcoholic, negligent twat. And he was never the manager of Marina Bay. Never. He just called himself that temporarily when he got away with it. And he was a flying monk, and he was proper used by our two psychopathic narcissists. And one of the narcissists, the day of the storm, same ones with our kittens, posted on Facebook, "Oh, definitely a staying at home day and relaxing." And I thought, you fucking... Anyway, it's all coming together now. And you'll see. I'll show you in daylight. Thank you very much for listening, as always.